Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Truly Odd Movie Review. And today we're going to be reviewing Fantastic Four. Starting off, check out this Galactus head. It's a cool popcorn bucket. I just got it in the theaters watching it. I watched my movie in Cinemark. I don't know if your guys' theater has them, but I just wanted to show you guys this dope ass popcorn bucket. Now, I don't know if I'm going to keep him here forever, but for now, let's put him here on the side while we all talk about the movie, shall we? Now, this movie is very interesting. And the reason for that is it's not your typical MCU movie, which I think is a good thing in this case because typical MCU movies, at least in my opinion, you really have a genuine focus on one particular character, but this one focuses on all four and doesn't get into too much of the nitty gritty of their origin story. I love that it kind of just flashes over it. We all kind of know the Fantastic Four origins, but this movie's not super action heavy. It's actually a really, not necessarily a slow mover, but I want to say there's like two or three action scenes in the movie, and that's it. Really not much, but a very compelling story that they're telling with the family and with everything going on in Galactus. If you guys don't know what the movie is about, essentially you have the Fantastic Four set in a different universe, and they really introduce this universe in an interesting way with a beginning kind of montage of who the Fantastic Four are, what their power sets are, and how they've been kind of introduced into this world and incorporated into this world. And the technology is all like 50s and 60s based, not even 70s based technology, but super older technology from our age if it was more advanced to even past our modern expectations of what technology can be. Basically, all the old classic drawings of what the future would have looked like from back then. So that's kind of what this movie looks like. So the premise of the movie is the typical Fantastic Four is having a normal day, and the Herald of Galactus shows up in the Silver Surfer and gives us this message. We see this in the trailer. I herald his beginning, I herald your end, and I herald Galactus, which is I think is a fantastic line. And there we kind of just get off and jumping and straight into the story. And up until we meet Galactus, there really is no action being done. I want to say it's the first almost 30 minutes of the movie, but a very compelling story being told with the Fantastic Four, with the introduction to them, with Stu Storm being pregnant. And you all see this in the trailer, so I'm hoping I'm not getting into spoiler territory. And I hope to avoid spoilers in this movie or in this review. But I just think the way that they did that was very interesting to not have it hyped up. Now you can kind of tell this movie's pretty fast paced. Uh, Earlier in our podcast episodes, we talked about how John Malkovich was taken out of the movie, and you can kind of tell they skimmed past a lot of the bad guys that they fought initially. They skimmed past a lot of that aspect. I think this movie initially had maybe a fight with John Malkovich's character in the beginning of the movie, and they just completely skip over that and just go straight into more of the Galactus stuff, which I think is actually a good thing that they did because the story of Galactus and the Galactus being in this movie, and he's probably the coolest character. His visuals, the visual for him, the way the Silver Surfer looks around him, his spaceship, everything is phenomenal with Galactus. I just think it was great. This movie is visually stunning. Now there is some wonky CGI when it comes to the baby, but everything else just looks absolutely phenomenal in this movie. And I really dig what they've done with this story and with these characters. Now, what else can I say without getting into too many spoilers? Oh yeah, Pedro Pascal does a really great job. Reed Richards, he plays him very. How do I say this? He plays them like he has a lot on his mind, which is a great thing to do with a Reed Richards type character. He's a super genius, so he's not all mentally there. He's always calculating and always being in his mind all the time, and he really portrays that very well. So you don't get the typical Pedro Pascal smooth suaveness, but you understand why Sue Storm would fall in love with him. Speaking of Sue Storm, let's get into Vanessa Kirby. She's really the heart and soul of this movie. Her character, everything she does, and she really comes into her motherhood and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed that about her character because you mama bears are always protecting their cubs, and you really feel that in this movie. And also the way that she kind of brings everyone together, from Ben Grimm to Johnny Storm and everything. She really is the heart of this team, and I think that's a great job that they did that with Sue Storm. And they really showcase how powerful she is. One thing I hated about the other Fantastic Four movies is Sue wouldn't do that much super powerful things and her nose would start bleeding as if she was doing so much, but they really didn't capture it visually about how much power she was exerting in the other movies. Here you really feel her how powerful of a character she is, and I really love that. Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm kind of more fall back in this movie. They are main stars, don't get me wrong, but you don't really get a whole lot from them like you do with Reed and Sue Storm. But the things you do get are absolutely phenomenal. You get more from Johnny, I feel, than you do Ben. But Ben has like a kind of a mini little side story they don't delve too far into. They kind of give you glimpses of what his normal life he wants his normal life to be and stuff like that. But his character is very entertaining and very fun, and they really show how strong and how powerful the Thing is in this movie. Initially I was worried that how are they going to have the Thing fight against Thor and the Hulk and all these characters coming into Doomsday, but they really showcase just how powerful of a character he is, and I feel that he can really hold his own against characters of that sort. And as far as Johnny's Johnny. He's funny, he's witty, he's super powerful. Now they don't do something crazy like they did in the original where he goes supernova or anything like that, but what they do show him do in this movie is very interesting and very entertaining. I felt that they could have utilized him a bit more with a certain aspect of the story. I won't get into that until maybe until we get into a spoiler discussion of the movie. But overall, I thought Galactus was my favorite part of this movie. He really shined, and it really felt like a comic book movie come to life. I remember being a kid reading the panels and seeing Galactus towering over all the Marvel heroes, and then them trying their best to hold him back and fight him. And we really got that in this movie, and I just thought it was great. And they really showcase just how powerful and fast the Silver Surfer is, which I very much enjoyed. And they do really interesting things with her character. Now, there's a certain part in the movie where she kind of, I don't want to get too much spoiler, but she kind of is not there for a certain aspect of the movie, which made sense in context, but also why would Galactus allow that to happen? It kind of made no sense there. I was hoping they could expand on that aspect of it, or maybe incorporated her more into the to that certain sequence. But yeah, sorry guys, I'm kind of dancing around here to not give you guys too many spoilers, but I highly recommend you guys check out the movie. I give it a thumbs up. I'm not gonna do a whole rating system of 1 to 10 unless you guys really want that. So I'm just gonna give movies a thumbs up, a middle, or a thumbs down. That's gonna be my rating system, and I give this movie a thumbs up. Go ahead and check it out, guys, and let me know what you thought of the movie in the comment section down below. And if you guys would like a spoiler discussion, please let me know. I'll go ahead and do that. Have a lovely day, guys, and remember always, stay true, be odd.